In our terminal, we have an array of HTML strings that has been generated by using the map method on an array of films that each contain a title and score property. Right here is where we can see the original array of films. Our map method applies a callback function, film to HTML, and a custom value for the this keyword to generate our list of HTML strings. Methods like map can come off as a bit magical, so let's re-implement map ourselves and create a new mapping method on Array.prototype called mappy so that we can understand map better. Do note before we begin that it's rare to use the second argument for map, but since we're going to re-implement map in its entirety, we need to re-implement all of it. Let's update films.map to instead use our new mappy method, and let's define mappy on Array.prototype. We know it's a function, but what arguments does it accept? And what is its implementation supposed to be like? If we look at MDN's map syntax section, we can see that we need a callback that gets called with an optional scope and 3 arguments. The currently iterated item, the current item's array index, which is an integer, the source array that map is called upon, and lastly, an optional value to use as this when calling the callback. Let's give our mappy method a callback parameter, as well as an optional this arg, which we'll just name this. Let's then have it return our array instance by returning the special this keyword. When we log out our films using our new mappy method, we can see that we simply get back our source array. Since our mappy method, like map, will not alter the original array, we know we'll need to return a new array. So let's do that. When we log that out, we can see the empty array. Now, we can populate the new array with the result of calling the callback function with each item in our array. Let's use a for loop to iterate over each item in our list. Do I is less than the list's length and I plus plus. At the end of our new array, we're going to want to append something. So we'll say new array.push. And what we will push is the result of calling the callback function with the optional scope and its 3 arguments. So callback.call, we're going to send the custom this scope. We're going to send the currently iterated item. We're going to send the index. And lastly, we're going to send back the list itself. Ultimately, when we return the new array, it will contain our transformed items. Lastly, what happens if we pass mappy a value that isn't a function? So let's comment this out, and we'll say films.mappy, let's say 123, something that's not a function. We get back an error from our method's internals, and this isn't very useful to someone using our new method. Instead, we can be good API creators by saying, if the callback is not a function, let's throw an error that makes it clear what the problem is and where it came from. So in the top of our mappy function definition, we can say if type of callback does not equal a function, let's throw a new type error that says, for mappy, a callback function was expected, but we received, say, whatever the callback was. Let's run it again. And we can see in our terminal here, there's a type error, mappy. A callback function was expected, but we received 123.